Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Angel from Simply Angel Tia. In this video we're going to be working on this triangle shawl here, and as you can see it does have these shells all around. So this project is pretty much going to be made off of these shells that are gonna go all the way until the size that you're looking for. It's a very easy to work up this project because you're repeating the same thing over and over and over. But yeah, it's really nice, and if you use colors that are already set like this, it comes out to be beautiful pattern like this. Okay, so this is what we're gonna be working on. I'm gonna talk about the materials that we're gonna be using, and I'm gonna be showing you guys how to start off this project with a sample, so that as you can see, obviously this is done. So I'm gonna show you guys a sample so you can see how it's done, and then you can do it on your own. Okay, so just to put this on the side here, I pretty much used, so this yarn here that I have, this is called LittleTreasures by Loops and Threads, and this is a lightweight number 3. I hope you can see it. It's a lightweight number 3. Recommended hook size is 4mm crochet hook or US G6. And what is this made out of? What is this? Let me check. This is, oh, and by the way, the color is called Quiet Time. Pretty cool. This is a very good yarn. It's very soft. Oh yeah, and it's just 100% acrylic. So but it's just not the same acrylic that we see. So I'm not sure exactly what type of acrylic this is, but it's very nice and soft. But yeah, so this is what we're gonna be using here. So this is what I used for this project. I finished a whole ball, so they come in a ball like this. And this is the whole ball here, literally finished. I think at the end when I finished my final row, that was the end of the yarn. I just had to cut off a little piece like this. Okay, so you can obviously use any yarn of your choice here. Oh, and for the size here, it's 557 yards, 7 ounces, 510 meters, or 200 grams. Okay, just in case you want to kind of get like about this size and you don't know how much yarn to get, then if you're getting the exact same one like this, it's just one skein or one ball like this. But if you're getting other different type of yarn, just to know that this size kind of this is the amount of yarn that I use for this size here. Okay, so even though they're recommending a 4mm crochet hook here, I'm actually using a 5mm crochet hook, just because with this pattern here, it's a really heavy pattern. If you do it very tight, it's gonna shrink up, or it's gonna look a little bit bunched up. But if you want it to be nice and fluffy like this, so just very nice and flowy, I recommend that you use a hook that is a little bit bigger. But if you have a nice tension with your yarn and your hook, then go ahead and follow the instructions that are in the yarn. And of course, I have my scissors here to cut off any strands, and a darning needle if you want to weave in your ends. For me, like I said, I literally finished the end here with a tiny bit that I just kind of knotted and then cut it off. Okay, all right, well, this is what we're gonna be working on here. So I'm gonna put these away. Oh, and it looks different on different sides. So this is one side here, and as you can see, it looks like this is how the pattern looks. But if you flip it on the other side, it looks a tiny bit different. Look at this. Okay, so it has a little bit of a tiny different look here. So I want to call this the inside, and I want to call the other the outside, just because these shells kind of pop up a lot better on this side. As you can see, they kind of bend outwards like this, and then this side they kind of cave in, so it looks just like a shell. Okay, so I'm gonna put this away, and I'm gonna bring in the yarn that I'm gonna use as a sample to show you guys. So I'm just gonna use this leftover yarn here from other projects in the past. This is We Heart yarn by Hobby, 100% acrylic, and this is also a lightweight number 3. So I wanted to use the same weight of the yarn. So, and this is also 100% acrylic. I think I just said that already. Okay, so that is what we're gonna be using, because I'm not using full of that yarn there. I'm not giving you all the information about the yarn, just to show you what I'm gonna be using to show you guys a sample. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started here. Okay, so with this project here, you're gonna start by doing a magic circle, and you can do this however you want to do it. I only tend to use one type of magic circle, which is the one where I do loop the yarn around my thumb like this, and then I hold this hole here open, and this is gonna end up being my magic circle. I put my hook through like this, and then I yarn over, bring it through, but I keep holding this hole open like this, and I just use my middle finger there to just kind of hold it open so that I don't lose this hole here. Okay, and now that you have your magic circle here, I'm going to go ahead and do a chain of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and this chain of 5 counts as a treble crochet. Okay, so treble crochet I think is US, and then it's a double crochet in UK or something like that, but anyways, don't quote me on it, but these are treble crochet in the US terms. And then I'm going to do a treble crochet in the magic circle. So I'm going to yarn over twice. So I guess I will show you guys that. Okay, so after my chain 5, I go yarn over, I yarn over again, I go into my middle hole here, bring it back, and then go through the first 2 loops, then yarn over, go through the second 2 loops, and then yarn over, finish the final 2 loops. Okay, so that's my treble crochet. So my chain 5 counts as a treble crochet, and now I just completed a second treble crochet, and I'm going to do that 5 more times for a total of 7, including the chain. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the circle here, and all along I'm just continuing to keep it open, and then I'm gonna go in and complete a treble crochet, and then complete another treble crochet. Okay, so I'm at 5. I need 2 more, another treble crochet, and then finally the 7th one. Okay, just like that. Okay, so this is 7 treble crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now that I have 7, I take my tail here and I just pull, and it just closes this circle here, and you just pull, and you can pull it as tight, and it just literally nods this area here, so it's no longer loose. So this is your first row of this pattern. Okay, for row 2, I'm going to chain 1 and turn. This chain 1 does not count as a stitch, and right in that same stitch right here where I have my chain 1, I'm going to go in and complete a single crochet. Then I'm gonna go into the next stitch right here and complete a single crochet, and then into the next stitch, complete a single crochet, and then all the way to the end. So by the end of this, you should have 7 stitches and 7 single crochets. For this final one here, your chain 5 that you did, you're just gonna go on top of that very first chain or the last chain of your chain 5 and complete your final single crochet there. So that's my second row completed. So what this does is just solidifies the top here so we can work the next row. And again, if you're using the recommended hook size for this yarn, make sure you work it loose. And if you up your hook to 5, make sure you're still paying attention to not do it too tight. So don't make your stitches too tight, because for this project it has to stay loose for it to be nice and flowy, just like our project here. Okay, and now I'm going to start my third row. I'm going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So every other row is gonna start with a chain 5, and every other row is gonna start with a chain 1 for your single crochet row. Okay, and then now we're going to build our second row of shells like this, and in this same stitch where my chain 5 comes out of, I'm going to do 6 more treble crochets. So this chain 5 counts as the first treble crochet. I'm going to go ahead and do 6 more into that same stitch. So 2, 3, and I'm saying 2 because this is the first. So now 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And in this project here, you have to make sure you always have the right number of stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I find myself counting quite a lot, because if you do, for example, end up with 6 here instead of 7, it's going to throw off the way the pattern looks. And if you have less, let's say you have more or less, it's gonna throw it off. So you have to make sure you have the right number of stitches every time. Then now that I have completed that, I'm gonna go ahead and count out 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. So in this third stitch here, I'm going to go ahead and do a double crochet, just like that. Okay, so it kind of brings the shell in this way. By just doing that double crochet, it makes the shell kind of have these triangle shape. So this is the corner here, the corner here, and corner here. Because if I did a treble crochet here, it will make this here be higher like this, and we don't want that. And then now that I have my double crochet there, I'm going to skip 2 more stitches. So 1, 2, and this last one here, I'm going to do my 6 treble crochets. So that's my first, sorry, my 7. So 1, 2, I apologize, there's dogs barking. If you hear it, hopefully it doesn't bother you. 3, and they're not my dogs, they're neighbors' dogs. A lot of neighbors here have a lot of dogs. I don't have any. So 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so your shells here are always going to be made out of 7 treble crochets. So if I put it down, that's pretty much how my row 3 looks like, which is my second set of the shells. Okay, so that's how it should look like. And then you move on to the next. And so the next row is gonna be to stabilize our stitches here. And to do that, we do a complete row across of single crochets. Okay, so I'm just setting up my yarn here to be able to show you how to do that. And we're gonna do a few rows together, and then I will have you guys pretty much kind of follow that pattern to the end. I'm gonna go back here. So after my 7 treble crochets, I'm going to chain 1 and turn. The 1 doesn't count as a double crochet, or as a single crochet. So I'm gonna go into that very same stitch to do my first single crochet like that. And then I will go into the next stitch and do a single crochet. And as you can see here, I'm making it very loose. I'm not pulling it tight. I'm not doing anything that would make it wrinkle up on me. I'm just making sure that I'm doing them very nice and loose, even though I have upgraded my crochet hook size. And as you can see here, on top of that double crochet that we did in the middle, you go on top of that like that. And then you go into the next. So in other words, you should have, I believe, exactly 15 single crochets here, because what we did was we had 7 here, and then we did 7 treble crochets here, a double crochet and 7 treble crochets. So we should have 15 stitches in this row, and therefore the row of single crochet should be 15 stitches as well. And so you have 2 rows that are exactly the same number of stitches, and then 2 rows that are exactly the same number of stitches, and you just continue like that. And again, don't forget here, on top of that chain 5, do your final treble crochet there. So that's how that 4th row looks like. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's our 4th row. Okay, and then we're going to start the next row. We're going to start by chaining 5. So 2, 3, 4, 5, turn, and then you do your 6 treble crochets in the same stitch to make it 7 with your chain 5. So we're starting our next shell here, or this row is going to be the row of shells. So we're starting the first one here. Okay, and you should be able to have 3 in this row. It's because your shells increase by 1 every other row, because there's a row of single crochet that doesn't give us shells. Okay, so this is 6 and 7. Okay, and now that we have that there, we're going to count out 1, 2, 3, and 4. So remember, we did in the 3rd before, but from now on we're going to be going into our 4th. We're going to skip 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. So in the 4th is where we do our double crochet like that, and then we skip 1, 2 in the 3rd. So we're gonna go ahead and we skip 1, 2 in the 3rd, which just happened to correspond to the double crochet we did in the two rows ago. we're gonna go in there and then do our treble crochets there. So again, just so you don't confuse yourself, in the first here you skip 3, in the fourth you do a double crochet, but then you skip only 2 to go into the middle to do your treble crochets. Let's undo that because it's treble crochet. Okay, and then I'll show you how to finish these off, and then you just follow the pattern that way. So I will show you how to do that. So the counting is a little bit off. It's not always going to be the same on each side. So that's why I wanted to make sure I show you guys that, because it's not going to be the same as the previous row that we did the shells in. 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so there. And then now on this one here, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So just like we did this section here. So we skip 3. In the fourth, we go in with a double crochet like that. Okay, so we skipped 4 here and we're skipping 4 here. We skip 3 here or 2 here. We skip, sorry, let me repeat that again. We skip 3 here, and in the fourth we do a double crochet, and then we skip 2, and in the third we do a treble crochet. We skip 4, and then in 3, in the fourth we do a double crochet, and now we skip 2, and in the third we do a treble crochet. I really hope you're catching on that. I will be able to explain this again in the next row that I will show you how to do, and which is going to be the last row that I show you, and then you just repeat this. So there's nothing too complicated here. Okay, so again we do our 7 treble crochets in the final stitch here in the corner. And again, making sure you're keeping your stitches on the loose side. The looser, the better. But also make sure they're even, because often when we work loose stitches, you may have some stitches that are too loose and some that are not too loose. So make sure you're evening up your stitches. So I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. And I keep counting in for this project. I keep counting because I don't want to throw my work off by having stitches or rows that are not the number of stitches that I want. All right, so that is the third set of your of the shells. I'm going to show you how to do the next, so the single crochet row and then the next shell row. And then I will have you guys work everything on your own. Okay, so now after that we do a chain 1, turn, and then in the very next stitch, at the same stitch, do a single crochet, and then single crochet all across. And again, for the middle, you do a single crochet on top of that double crochet from the previous row. And then you just continue all the way across. And then for the final, make sure you go on top of that, the very last of the chain 5, and do your single crochet. Okay, so as you can see, that's how it looks like. And now I'm going to show you the final row of this, and then I will explain how you work it all the way to the end. So this is a row where we start by chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn. And then in that same stitch here, complete 6 more treble crochets to make it 7. Okay, so we finished the first shell of this row, and then we're going to work a double crochet after skipping the first 3, and in the 4th we work a double crochet. So we skip 1, 2, 3. In the 4th here we complete a double crochet like that. Okay, and then we skip 1, 2. In the 3rd we complete 6, 7 treble crochets. I keep saying 7 because I start the row with a chain 5 and then I do 6 treble crochets to make it 7, but just a slip of the tongue. You do 7 treble crochets, okay, so that's my 7 treble crochet, and then I skip 1, 2, 3, 4. So I skip 3, 1, 2, 3. In the 4th I do a double crochet like that, and then I skip 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I skipped here how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. In the 4th I did. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Here in the 4th I do a treble crochet like that, and then I do my 7 treble crochets in here. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and then for the last part here I skip 3, 1, 2, 3. In the 4th I do a double crochet. Okay, and then I skip 2, 1, 2. In the final I do my 7 treble crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, all right, and now this is where I would just kind of work with my work a little bit, kind of give it a little bit of a stretch on each side just to make sure every stitch is laying into its place. But yeah, that's pretty much what you would continue to do. So I continue to do mine like this until I finish the ball of yarn I had. And for me, because I had just enough yarn to finish the top of my work, if I can find that, I ended up just doing a row of single crochets all around. So single crochets, not around, sorry, from one end to the other. So starting here, I went all the way to the end like this, doing my single crochet. So instead of I didn't finish it off with a row of the treble crochet, I finished it off with a row of single crochet. And what that does is it just makes it nice and neat like this. It finishes it off like this versus finishing it off like that. Not that this is bad, you can actually finish it however you want, okay? So yeah, so you just continue. So just to explain something really quickly. So the more you go into your stitches after the first one here, you're going to skip 3 spots here, and then in the second you skip 2, and in the third you do your treble crochet. But then it changes from here where you skip 3 double crochet, you skip 3 treble crochet, you skip 3, in the 4th you do a double crochet, and then skip 2 and do treble crochet. And this is what you're gonna notice going forward. So as long as you're following this pattern here, you're going to have your work nice and flat like this. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the video here. You guys are going to obviously build up your work until you have the length that you want. but for me, I'm gonna stop it here because my work is already finished. Okay, so this is what I have here now. I can use this as a shawl. I can use this maybe as a bikini cover sometimes, but it's a little bit too thick for a bikini cover. I think it's gonna work more like almost like a shawl or a scarf, where you can just wrap this around your neck, or like a neck warmer, things like that. Okay, but this is pretty much the end of the project here. I hope you guys like this one. It's a very simple, fast one, and I hope you guys will create some beautiful work, share by posting and tagging me on Instagram and things like that. And yeah, thank you so much for watching the video to the end. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.